So the South Korean Olympic officials have called on Japan to ban its rising sun flag at the 2020 Tokyo Games after claiming it represents a militaristic and imperial past. Tokyo organizers say, like our Won Jung-won reported, they will not ban the flag, arguing the rising sun flag is widely used in Japan and it's not considered to be a political statement, so it is not viewed as a prohibited item. Let's get an expert's view. Joining me live via Skype is Alexis Dudden, professor of history at the University of Connecticut. Alexis, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Now, so this rising sun flag, the implications, I wonder what they are. And if we look to another part of the world, Germany's Nazi flag, the swastika, the symbol, and the Nazi flag, we can't imagine the Nazi flag being used or flown anywhere in an international sporting event. How is Japan's rising flag different from the Nazi flag or the swastika, for example?
These are excellent questions, and thank you again for raising the issues. I think two things. One, it is interesting if we just step back that the International Olympic Committee is saying that flags should not be used for political reasons. All national flags are political, and so that sort of doesn't make sense. Japan has a national flag, the rising sun flag. This is a different rising sun flag. This is the war flag of Imperial Japan. It was created. Actually, it's built out of a flag based on a flag from the 1700s, a particular banner that was led into battle or theoretical battle. Then in the 1870s, as Imperial Japan created its first modern military, this one with the rays, as it's called, became the flag of the Imperial Army. Then it became the flag of the Imperial Navy in 1899. If we think about those dates, this is exactly when Imperial Japan began to take over various parts of the Asian mainland, beginning with the Korean Peninsula. And so this is clearly simply just another smack on the face in the middle of heightened tensions that is entirely unnecessary. Japan has a national flag that we all know, the simple rising sun. This is a flag that has different connotations that are entirely about going to war. And I think a better comparison actually is not the Nazi flag, but rather the failed flag, the Confederate flag of the United States, which when in the 1860s the United States had a civil war, part of the United States, the southern half, used a flag that is now entirely discredited as the flag of the United States because that side of the battle lost. And so it's not a question of legality because freedom of speech issues are involved, but this is a failed war flag that caused deep pain and suffering to those who were victimized, the same way the Confederate flag causes pain and suffering to the descendants of those victimized in the United States.
Right. So, thinking from the perspective of the victims, and I think you raising the America's Confederacy flag is a better example to that. Now, how should the IOC and Japan go about dealing with this issue? Like you said, it's not acceptable in your view, but is it acceptable in the international norm for Japan to allow the use of the rising sun flag at the Tokyo Olympics 2020 and the IOC to condone this action? And from here on forth, should Japan continue to use the rising sun flag on its Navy ships, for example, because they do fly that flag there?
I think it's a strange choice for the Japanese Navy to use a failed battle flag. I mean, if you're going to have a successful military, you want a flag that actually won a war, not a flag that lost a war. But I think that question, excellent question, is really up for the people of Japan to debate amongst themselves. They debated about 15 years ago, they decided to have for the first time a national flag, which is not this flag. Again, this flag has specific connotations for war. I find it deeply unfortunate that the Paralympic medals will have the rising sun flag on them, as you're displaying right now. I think that is a specific political act, and it is up to the International Olympic Committee to recognize that there really is a historical distinction going on here. Japanese people, of course, are allowed to have a national flag. They're allowed to pick a flag for their navy that they want. They've picked a flag which is for the Olympics. It's deeply unfortunate, intentionally hurtful, and so this is where, in my humble opinion, I think taking the high road, encouraging there to be an international conversation that learns how much suffering occurred under this flag that causes pain is through education. And it really is incumbent on the International Olympic Committee to learn why this hurts so much. I mean, imagine a flag, imagine this Los Angeles Stadium Olympics full of American Confederacy flags. That would be terrible. And arguably, the Japanese government knows that the very few survivors of the atrocities committed under that flag won't be attending the Olympics as spectators. So it's an intentionally hurtful act that unnecessarily stirs up trouble. At the same time, I think it's really important for the South Korean government, as it navigates these really difficult challenges that the Japanese government continues to throw, beginning with the economic measures in July, but now this. And I think, the South Korean Olympic athletes want to participate. And so really somehow creatively turning the focus on how great the South Korean athletes are and what they are doing, just to rise above this intentionally hurtful act that is really unfortunate that the Japanese government is doing as hosts to this international event.
All right, many thanks to you for your very, very high insights today, this morning. Alexis Dudden, professor at University of Connecticut, many thanks to you.
Thank you so much.